This is a series about life, about death, about 2 of the 700 people a year who donate their bodies to science.
Body donation has given me more control of what short future I've got.
If I could be of use, either in research or in teaching, that makes me feel better.
The paths they take in life.
I'm not going to get sentimental, but this is a birthday that I didn't expect to see.
And death.
I'm not going to be able to feel her. I'm never ever going to get a hug. And that's horrible.
And what happens to them after life's biggest event of all.
This is Mr. Michael Bowyer.
In a UK television first, with unprecedented access to donors, we see their bodies take a journey of their own with surgeons and anatomy students.
If anybody is feeling ill during this, please let us know. It's actually quite common that people will faint.
And discover how the lives of others are changed by their gift.
If it can help one more person after my death have a better or a longer life, then I get a little bit of satisfaction out of that.
Well, I always treated life as an adventure. I don't think death is that hard. You're standing up, the next thing is you're lying down, and that's the end of it. For me, there's no hereafter. The light switch will go out and they either bury you or cremate you.
But before he's laid to rest, Mike Bowyer's body is going on a journey. As a former diver and marine archaeologist, adventure was part of his makeup.
I suppose the one ambition I had in my life was to become Britain's oldest diver, and I enjoyed every minute of exploring the seabed where man may have not gone before.
Mike died aged 77. Terminally ill with leukemia, he made the decision to donate his body to science. He gave just one interview before his death.
Body donation has given me more control of what short future I've got, because I know that there is still another pathway that I can take, or my remains can take. It's not just complete write-off. And maybe, we can be of use.
Mike's body is being put to use by Liverpool University's Human Anatomy Resource Centre. It's one of 19 institutes in the country licensed to practice dissection on human cadavers.
When we do have a cadaver or a donor into the department, I've never met the donor in life. So to me, that person is a teaching aid. And that's what we tell our students, it's a teaching aid. But also, they've got dignity and respect for that donor, because it is somebody's loved one, and they've given the ultimate gift for them.
Every year, the centre organises a Meet the Cadaver session for first-year anatomy students.
So where we are now is our dissecting area. These are the same cadavers which you will work with when you begin dissection, okay? It's a real privilege to be able to come here and do cadaveric dissection. Okay, is that almost everybody? To be presented with a human cadaver is a very different experience to what they normally expect. There's always a lot of questions that they have. Some students are understandably nervous and a little bit apprehensive about meeting a cadaver. Okay, come close, don't be too cautious. For the next 3 years, you're going to be working with human cadaveric specimens. That doesn't mean that for your first encounter, you're not going to feel a little bit nervous. So if you don't feel comfortable coming too close and starting to touch or palpate the cadaver, that's fine.
This year, it's Mike who's being introduced. But after being embalmed, his body looks very different in death from the way it did in life.
I'd imagine nobody has ever been in this position. Nobody around the table has seen a human cadaver before. No? But the embalming process has an effect on the way the cadaver feels. It's more rigid, it's more solid than you would expect with a living body.
It feels like a model. How long do you normally get to keep the body for? How long do they last?
For us, we were quite fortunate because this donor came in last week and he's going to be used for this year.
Somebody's given us the ultimate gift, really, and I think the important thing is we use it as much as possible to learn from.
Seeing somebody's features is different from seeing a body part. It reminds me of my granddad. Like, he looked like that typical granddad figure who played with his kids.
Yeah. It was the face, I think. I was always expecting the face, and first of all it took my breath away, and I was like, oh God, am I going to be okay?
I only got to see the chest, I didn't get to see the face, so I must save that one for another time.
I wonder how we feel when we actually dissect.
Yeah, I do.
I think once you can do that, then it's going to get easier and more.
Kind of amazing, actually.
In Blackburn, Diana King has also decided to donate her body to science. She's 54 and has terminal cancer. Her decision's supported by her family.
It's a birthday I didn't expect to see, and that makes it... I don't normally I'll go overboard on my birthday, but this I'm making an exception for. But it's bittersweet, I'm not going to lie, because it also hurts, because it probably will be my last one. Yeah.
Happy birthday, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Her husband Wayne has been marking time.
She was given 6 months. That's just over 12 months since. So she's gone past the time that they originally gave her. So how long it's going to be, we don't know. We know it's going to come to an end, but the longer it lasts, the better. Just wish it wasn't happening.
Although she has terminal cancer, Diana's had time to put her life in order.
Somewhere up upstairs.
She's already planned her own memorial service. Now she's choosing the photographs for it.
That's going back a long time. I remember it very vividly. I'm 5 and it's in Lewis's in Manchester. I think I spent about 3 hours there holding this monkey refusing to leave the store. The other one is definitely taken on my 5th birthday. I recognise the wallpaper at my mum's house. An awful haircut, not too bad a dress, but good memories. That's me as a teenager. And you know what, I thought I was really ugly. That's just shortly after graduating as a staff nurse. Me and Wayne on our wedding day at Gretna Green. Couldn't quite imagine myself ever going out with a man that wore a medallion and a perm. But truth be told, I miss my white stilettos and plastic earrings and Dad's into Wham. Yeah.
Surrounded by memories of her life, it's hard to face death.
Everybody's got to have a sense of purpose, don't they? So, yeah, body donation, that's mine. And you need that path, definitely. Cancer's fairly easy to deal with while you're relatively well. It's when you're not well that it gets scary. I know I'm going to see this summer, but people don't come back from this.
Cancer has taken hold of Diana King's body. Her nurse's training means she can chart every step of its progress.
It's in my sternum, It's in my clavicles. It's all throughout my lymphatic system in my chest. It's in my heart. Knowing that it has spread is not a good feeling. It takes me one step nearer to the inevitable happening, and it gets scary when you know it's getting that one step closer. Even though I've worked with cancer patients, it's still different when it's you. It's very, very different. It makes you feel very vulnerable. I'm not a crier, but this disease is beginning to get to me a little bit more in that respect.
I don't know how my mum is doing as well as she is. I was there when they told her that you've got 6 months to live. How the hell do you process that? And then from that point, there's just been bad news on top of bad news on top of bad news. This is probably going to be it now. And you're playing this cruel little waiting game of, well, nobody knows when. It's slowly corroding away everything, even a personality. You know, a sparkle's going. I don't want to see it. I want to keep my mum as she is, you know, just as mum, and not see this bit.
Nurses don't cry. Yeah. I do cry. I cry in the shower. Yeah. Nobody can see that. I do feel that I've took one step nearer to death, to be blunt about it. It's going to stop, and I haven't quite achieved or done everything that I've wanted to. And the best way I can describe it is that I am now on a different road to everybody else around me.
It's 2 months after Mike Bowyer's death. His daughter Anne has returned from her home in Chicago to sort through his things. She's hoping to find out more about the father she called Mike.
There's one here of him in the Monte Carlo rally, which I think was very glamorous. I think this photograph was taken when he went to Australia. This is an interesting picture of Mike. It looks like him on the markets selling tea towels. He might be. This is a photo of him on holiday somewhere. People found him very entertaining, very interesting, and good company. And he definitely had a very twinkly charm. It's interesting when other people talk to you about the time they spent with him, because they knew him as in a different sense. And they knew a different person. You know, it's such a lot about him that I knew in the periphery, but not in reality, if you know what I mean. He had a life that didn't include us, which is fact.
There are few photographs of Anne or Mike's 6 other children. Separated from his family, work became the focus of his life.
He was my father's, but he was a man who liked to do what he wanted to do. Put his needs first, I think. My parents divorced, so he wasn't in my life on an everyday basis. Our relationship was one of distance. But he definitely cared for us as he grew older, certainly.
At Liverpool's Human Anatomy Resource Centre, Mike's body is about to go under the knife, helping first-year anatomy students get to grips with dissection.
I'm really nervous about my first dissection class because at the end of the day that is someone who has a family, who has a story, and we have to be careful to respect that. I think the first incision will be the scariest. I'm not quite sure who in our group is going to be the brave enough one to do that.
So as this is your first dissection, there's a few things we need to run through first. If anybody is feeling ill during this, please let us know. Okay, it's actually quite common that people will faint. Okay, so you need to tell us if you're feeling ill, okay, then we can get you away from here and you can have a cup of tea. I want everybody to dissect, okay? I don't want anybody just sitting on the stools ignoring it, okay? It's a skill that you need to learn. Okay, you can begin.
I'm not worried what happens to my remains, but if it can be of use to somebody in the future, or they can learn something, that would be absolutely brilliant.
Later they'll dissect the major organs, but their first task is to reach the deeper muscles under the skin.
Is it quite tough?
Yeah.
Have you stroked it or just...
First dissection, they're usually very apprehensive and very slow, so it would take other anatomists a few minutes to dissect, but it'll take them most of the day to get the skin off.
Yeah, there we go, that's better. Yeah, you've done it, definitely. So, you've got to do...
It's quite really warm.
It is warm. You okay?
Yeah.
Definitely?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll start.
Let me know.
I will never hear the end of it.
Yeah, you know.
It's Emily's turn to make an incision. But for her, it's a step too far.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'll try and hold it back and you can do this. No, okay, no, okay.
Good, how you doing? You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So leave for a bit and just cool down.
Yeah.
Yeah, sound.
So what made you feel Faye?
It was just I had this moment where I was like, I'm actually doing a dissection, like, what am I doing? Yeah.
I try to explain to people, it doesn't look real, if
No,
you know
it
what I mean.
doesn't.
So it doesn't look real. And then you have a moment where you realise that this
it is
was real.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes you feel uneasy. You're not the first and you won't be the last.
Yeah. There wasn't any point where I thought, no, this isn't for me, I can't do this, because it's all about persistence, just try it. And I knew that this is what I wanted to do, that I was going to learn a lot from it, and it was the only way to learn. So it was a hurdle that I had to overcome, and it was as good a time as any in the first dissection. I think after today I'll be fine with it.
Emily's having to cope with her first year at university and supporting her mum through treatment for breast cancer. It's an experience which helped her decide to study anatomy.
My mum went through radiotherapy, and I went sometimes to her sessions, and seeing the excellent facilities they had and the amazing staff that worked there, that kind of inspired me to maybe think about that avenue where I hadn't thought about it really before.
Now her mum's been given the all clear, it's a path they're both glad she took.
Nobody knows what's going to happen with your group. I mean, you don't know who's going to be the pioneer, who finds the cure for dementia, the next wonder drug for cancer. I'm proud of you. I really am.
Diana's condition has suddenly worsened. Having previously resisted going into a hospice, she's now accepted it's the best move for her and her family. Her daughter Danielle is taking some things in for her.
If you've worked in a hospital for so many years, it's the last place you want to go. Mum's always been, if she can get better at home and can do it, then, you know, she's not wanted to trouble people. So definitely the fact that she said get a doctor and go in, I think she just doesn't do it.
She thinks the hospice is somewhere to die. She's sent many a patient down there and stuff like that, so she doesn't want to be going herself. So I knew she was ill, obviously, when she said yes to both of them. she realises it now that this is the place to be.
She was just really, really weary, really properly ill for the first time, which might sound a bit daft because we've all gone, oh, well, we know she's got cancer. But it's kind of the first time I've really ever seen it affect her so much.
Are you preparing for it?
Very much so.
Danielle finds out the latest on her mum's condition.
Quite a lot has happened to her just over the last few days.
Yeah.
And quite quickly. She's very poorly.
Yeah.
She has got a urinary tract infection.
Yeah.
So the urinary tract infection can sometimes make people
very
ill.
Yeah.
And can cause pain and vomiting. Yeah. We're hoping that that's what has made her deteriorate so suddenly.
Yeah.
If she doesn't improve with it, it may signify something more serious.
Yeah.
It could be progression of the cancer.
The main worry for me is Mum's state of mind appears to have changed, where the fight that she sort of had is kind of gone. I mean, she barely spoke to me yesterday. She made eye contact once to tell me that she loved me. And that was it, you know, and like normally she wants my son Josh to come and visit, she won't let me bring him. She doesn't really want to see me that much.
She told me this morning that she felt like she was losing the fight.
Yeah.
But the next 24, 48 hours, I think we'll have a better idea of which direction we're going in.
Diana has spent the last 5 years with cancer. But since her diagnosis, she's focused on living a life, not dying a death.
I did a parachute jump for Pendleside Hospice. Did it on my 52nd birthday. I'm not frightened of heights, but they made the mistake of looking down. The fields were as big as my thumbnail, not joking. And every instinct in my body kicked in and said, no, don't do this. So anyway, basically this guy tipped my head back and we went out. And I remember every single instinct in my body telling me I was going to die, because I felt as if this must be what people feel like when they're dying, because we're falling, we're tumbling. Once we got stabilised, it was the most amazing experience. It was just absolutely beautiful.
Diana died at the East Lancashire Hospice, aged 54. Her journey in death is about to begin.
So we've got Diana King.
Okay.
Yeah.
Diana King's body is being transferred from Blackburn Mortuary to take on a new role in Newcastle. Before her death, she made the decision to donate her body to science. Now her wishes are being fulfilled.
I'm not afraid of anybody to my body, and again that probably comes from nursing. I can imagine somebody probably opening my chest, but I won't be there, so that's not me.
Many donated bodies are preserved for years by embalming, but Diana's being frozen as it's destined for surgery. Working with the University of Newcastle, the centre selects bodies suitable for advanced surgical training from a database of 10,000 potential donors.
Although the word cadaver is used because it's a clinical word, they're still patients. They're still in our care. We look after them until it's time for them to go and have their funeral. Because at the end of the day, they've given a huge gift. Their legacy is that they're allowing skilled people to go on and hopefully be able to cure disease, which hopefully will end up giving people a longer life.
Got Diane Coon. Yep. You happy with that?
We are, yes.
Okay, cool.
Diana's body is put in storage for the next 3 months. The family are feeling her loss.
Hiya, Dad.
I'm all right. We knew she was going to go. She went peacefully. When I got down there, the four nurses, her mates, they put her on her back and clean pyjamas on and stuff like that, and she looked beautiful. I couldn't fault anything. The big emotion is the fact that she's not in any pain anymore. That is a relief. I know it sounds daft, it sounds hard. I'm not sorry she's gone. That's just come today from University of Liverpool, and a card from her as well.
Oh, bless her. Dear Wayne, I was so very sorry to learn of Diana's death, and on behalf of the medical school would like to offer you, Danielle and family, my sincere condolences. I confirm that Diana's bequeathal has now been accepted and she is currently in the care of the Freeman Hospital in Newcastle. We are very grateful to Diana for her kind and unselfish gesture in bequeathing her body in this way. Please let me reassure you and Danielle that she will be looked after with the utmost dignity and care during her time at the Freeman Hospital.
Danielle's struggling with the loss of her mum's physical presence.
I do feel very, very empty at the minute, and I know a big part of me is gone, you know, and I think that's going to be in the long haul, learning to accept that. I want a little blossom tree, you know, in the front garden, and I want to name a star after it that I can see from my bedroom window, you know, even though we said we'd explain death like that to Josh, being selfish, I need that for me. You know, just a little reassurance of actually, Mum, I need to feel you again. You know, I'm never ever going to get a hug. Ever. And that's horrible. You know, I'm going to get a perfume, but I'm not going to be able to smell her. I'm not going to be able to feel her. And it's crap. And it's hard. You know, and they're the bits that dawn on you. You know, yeah, I've got an amazing husband and I've got my son, but it's nowhere near the same. And it's just not my mum.
In Liverpool, first-year anatomy student Emily Tasker is settling into university life. After volunteering at a neonatal clinic in Rwanda, she's also familiar with death.
Death was quite a common occurrence, really, amongst the babies, especially really premature babies. When you're working with them over a few days and you start to see them get better and then suddenly you lose them, you feel it personally. It took me a while to be able to cope with the whole idea of life and death.
Now she's facing another challenge, one of the most significant dissections of the year.
So today you've got your first heart dissection. Basically you've got 2 incisions. 2 incisions anterior to where the phrenic nerves were. So you can open and have your first look at the heart. After that you've got to take the heart out. Okay, so any questions? Okay, you can start.
It's an opportunity for the students to explore the differences between the normal and the abnormal body, and to learn about the way Mike lived.
I think we're all really looking forward to actually seeing what he's had done and learning the story behind it and asking all the demonstrators for help and learning a lot more about our cadaver.
I've had a very active life and I have been really, really fit. Football, cricket, diving. For my age, I thought I was very fit.
Are we taking the lungs out again? Yeah.
So far we've learned that looking at his lungs that he was obviously quite a healthy chap because his lungs look really clean and healthy. And now we're going on to the heart itself.
Emily and the others can see the evidence of Mike's extensive heart surgery.
On the heart, the visceral area is called the
Just keep going, you're getting there.
Here, there we go. And this is all scar tissue here. It's got like so much scar tissue, we can't figure out what layers what. There's staples everywhere.
The radiotherapy and the chemotherapy had an effect upon the main arteries going into the heart. And 2 years later I ended up with heart failure or heart attack, I suppose, but having to have 4 bypasses.
I think there's quite a bit of scar tissue from the operation.
Oh!
Once we get it out, we can have a better look at the bypass.
That surgery is impressive.
Does it not make you wonder how like surgeons can like do heart surgery without having to remove like all of that from the top? Like how on earth do they get under it? And you really can't go wrong. Yeah.
Careful, Cam. Don't cock it up.
This is the big bit.
This is the big one. Wow. I never thought that I would be holding a heart, a human heart. How cool is that? I feel like I'm actually learning a lot now.
Mike's body's pieced back together again, ready for the next dissection class.
My biggest hurdle was always the face. I always avoided looking at the face, but I found today I was looking at his face a lot more and imagining him as a person a lot more, which I thought I was quite proud of that today. There's no other way that you can learn anatomy, in my opinion, than doing it hands-on, than actually seeing the real thing. Because books and models are all very well and good, but you don't see what it's really like, you don't get to feel what it's like. Dissecting a cadaver, I think, is the only way to actually learn.
It's November, 2 weeks after Diana's death. Her body is in Newcastle, 150 miles away from her home and family, waiting to be thawed. At Blackburn Hospital's chapel, it's the day of the memorial service she arranged for herself.
It's not going to follow a normal grieving process because it's going to be quite a protracted time of grieving. So I thought then perhaps if we have the memorial service where instead of a body, what I do want is a big spray, a massive spray of red roses. Why red roses? It's a symbol of true love.
This has all been sorted out by Diana. She sorted it all herself and she wrote it all down and everything that's going to get said today was what she wanted to say. Made it a lot easier for us. It'll be hard today though. This is going to be the hard day.
It's not something I'm looking forward to do. Waterproof mascara, I think, is in order. You know, I've tried to make it as close as to what Mum wrote down as possible, and as happy as possible.
Yeah, that's good news, that.
And so as we gather together, we come to celebrate a life that you've had the privilege to share over the years in very significant ways and very deeply. And Diana wanted you all to know that everyone here today has a place in our heart, and it means a lot to her that you are here.
I'm now going to share with you some of Mum's thoughts and wishes which she wrote in preparation for today. Regarding body donation, this has made me focus on accepting death, but at least some good could come out of it. I feel quite proud knowing that I will end up in a university indirectly teaching people. Many thanks to my family and my friends for understanding my views and wishes. At times I know this has been very hard for you, because ultimately we've had to focus on my death, and that's been hard. If this results in more people donating for research, then we have achieved something good. I couldn't have done it all with him.
God bless you, sweetheart. Thank you.
What I don't want to leave behind is the love for my family. I don't want to say goodbye to people. I want to say thank you for being in my life, and I love you.
In Newcastle, Diana King's thawed body is being prepped for state-of-the-art surgery. But it's not human hands making the first incision.
Move your hands to the left till you get where you need to be.
This procedure could help improve the lives of patients with colorectal cancer.
Okay, and just stop there.
During the operation, the surgeons discover the full extent of Diana's cancer.
So we can see evidence of metastatic disease in her liver in a number of areas, and also what looks like a benign cyst in the liver on the right lobe.
Diana's body can be worked on for only a month after thawing. But during that time, it will help dramatically improve the speed at which surgeons can learn. Now it's the turn of orthopaedic surgeons to practice their skills.
Each trainee will get to do a total hip replacement from start to finish. This will be done on the donated cadaver, and what this really offers is hands-on experience to try and bump up the learning curve as quickly as possible. Okay.
Okay, starting.
So, talk us through it then.
Okay, skin incision.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, could I get some forceps, please?
So you want your blade to be angled, not like that, like that. Get it? And then up to piriformis at the top. Your pins in the sockets.
You kind of read the books, you read the manuals, you can kind of go through everything. You can watch the YouTube videos of somebody doing a hip replacement like the patient would, but really the hands-on technical stuff, it's really at the coal face where you have to do it. I think I've got overwhelming respect for people who are doing this for you, because essentially they're donating your body to your training to make you better, and then you've just got to take that gift and put it into your training and then put it into your patient care, really.
We'll send for the next patient. We'll go and have a cup of coffee.
Next time, Will Manning will take the skills he's learned and assist in a real hip operation on a living patient. For Jerry Scott, who's been in chronic pain for the last 2 years, one of the operations performed on Diana's body is set to change her life.
So this is your bed, and you've got your locker there.
Yes.
So would you like to take a seat and I'll
Okay,
go get
yes.
somebody to come and do your ops?
Okay,
Is that
thank
all right?
you.
See you later.
See you later, Michelle.
Thank you.
Today is the day of my hip replacement surgery. I'm feeling a little anxious, a little apprehensive and nervous, but I know that I have to do this.
It's the same team who operated on Diana.
Yo. Do you know what we're up to today then?
Yes.
And you've signed your consent form here.
Signed form,
So
yeah.
you know there's a few small risks of the operation.
Yes, yeah. I need to have some kind of life.
Right. Okie dokes.
Okay.
Right, we'll see you shortly. Okay.
After practicing on Diana's body, now Will's building on his orthopaedic experience in real-life hip surgery.
At the moment, Geraldine's in the anaesthetic room getting anaesthetized, and so that's a small injection into her back, and then we'll wait for that to become effective while it numbs up her legs. She'll be given some sedation as well to make her a little bit sleepy but not completely unconscious.
The trainees, having now gone through the primary procedure with the donor, everything should be more familiar. We use the same techniques, same drapes, same instruments, same implants. So it should be very, very similar.
Everything went as planned, so we got the sizing right compared to the components that we thought we were going to trial in. There was a little bit of bleeding, but nothing that wasn't anticipated or unexpected or that we didn't deal with.
The contribution of body donors like Diana means more surgeons will learn faster, giving more patients like Jerry a better quality of life. Diana and Mike's work in death is finally done.
We are going to Liverpool to the memorial service for my mum, get to meet all the doctors that have studied on her, and hopefully the other donors' family, and just sort of celebrate everything that she's done for a lot of people, which is going to be quite nice. And then tomorrow is my mum's cremation, so quite final now. It's sort of been 7 or 8 months now, and that's the end of it, which as much as my head goes, oh, at long last, my heart goes, no, please don't do that. So you kind of fight with yourself. My mum's not going to be there today, but you feel her, and that helps, because without that I don't think I would have been strong enough to go through it.
At the memorial service at Liverpool Metropolitan Cathedral, students, staff and families come together to thank this year's body donors for their gift.
I did not know that there were 70 donors until I arrived, and I think that's quite remarkable in itself. I think Mike would have felt good about that.
It's been a long way from dying to the cremation, but don't regret this thing, anything at all. In fact, I'm very proud of what she's done.
I know this is a day of mixed emotions for the relatives of our donors. Deep sorrow for those we miss so much, joy at remembering their lives, and intense pride for the wonderful and ultimate gift that they have given. How important their gift of bequeathal is for the education and training of doctors, other health professionals and anatomists. So I want to say thank you to our donors who chose to make such a remarkable gift to society.
Wallace Edward McMillan.
Kenneth Francis Biggin.
Alan Edwin Peters.
Michael Bowyer.
This is the one and only trip we get, and there is so much to do, and when the light switch goes out, try and go out with a smile on your face.
Diana King.
I wish I didn't have to go, that I love them all very much and I'll always be with them to protect them. I hope that they can be proud of me, because I'm proud of them.
Mike and Diana's last wishes have all been fulfilled.
Alright, so we're going to tip the tree back. 1, 2, 3. There we go. In that bit, George, good boy. Bit please, boys, all for you.
Okay. Josh, George, can you remember why we're planting this tree today?
We're planting it for Gran-Gran.
For Gran-Gran, and what's the most important thing that we remember about Gran-Gran? That she loved us all very, very much. Thank you very much for helping. Alright, it means an awful lot to me. Whenever we miss her, she's in our front garden so we can see her every day. Remember why they've done it. Remember that by doing this, you're helping them have their wishes. You know, and for me, it was really important because Mum suffered from cancer, so that was her way of getting peace and control back over her life. It's part of loving that person and part of appreciating them of who it is. It's not easy, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say that it is, but it's just, you've got to do it because you love someone and that's ultimately what they want. It's done. Mum's fully at rest now.
Next tonight here on Channel 5, the series premiere of the much anticipated CSI Cyber, starring Patricia Arquette.